Hello. Ooh, let's lose that echo, shall we? We don't need that much of a greeting. So, hello and welcome in on this Tuesday lunchtime. It is just about 12:30 here, and hopefully, I am going live in on my Facebook page and my Facebook group and in YouTube as well. That is certainly the plan. Whether that is the actuality remains to be seen, but it is lovely to see you. So do come on and say hello if you are watching um, live, and even if you are coming on a bit later on and watching on catch up, it's still lovely to hear you say hello and to hear how you're doing and what you're up to, where you're joining us from, all of those sorts of things. So let me start by introducing myself if you haven't come across me before. My name is Helen Jennings, and this is my website where you'll find all things Love-a-Duckie. So Love-a-Duckie is indeed the name of my website, loveaduckie.co.uk, and over there you're going to find all of my classes, downloads, inspiration, contact details, requesting a catalogue, all of those sorts of things, signing up for newsletters. You can find all of that on my website at loveaduckie.co.uk. And one of the things that you can do over there is sign up for classes if you are local for me. So let's have a quick look at what we've got coming up. Some of these need to be taken off, but let's see what we've got coming up in classes. On Friday of this week, we have got a technique class, and we're going to be using card templates. The new catalogue features some really handy card templates in the front section. So it's just a technique class, different ways that you can interpret those card sketches in your projects. So that will be on Friday. That's a technique class. If I flick back here, if we go in order, the next class after that is going to be a stamper stack, and we're going to be using the Spotlight on Nature bundle. It's a rather beautiful bundle, so we're going to be using that in the upcoming weeks. I think that in fact is next Thursday that we're going to be playing with that, next Thursday morning. So if you'd like to come and join us for that, and that's quite a busy class, but I could perhaps squeeze one or two more in. Then following that, we've got a Saturday Stampers, and this is the first Saturday in July, which is the 6th, I believe, of July. And this is an all-day class, 10 till 3, and we're going to be creating projects on a theme of summer garden. So there'll be flowers and there'll be butterflies and there'll be much summer garden beautifulness. So if you would like to come and join us for that, then do book onto there. It would be lovely to see you. The stamp camp was last weekend. We had a great time, but if you would like to play catch up on that, it is still possible to to do that, to catch up on all videos and get yourself the product that you need to participate in the stamp camp. There were some really lovely projects in it, so was a great stamp camp to be a part of. So say there's no reason why you couldn't sneak in under the radar then. Next month, so July's monthly card club is going to be using the really beautiful, bright, stunning, full of life suite. So do come and book on and come and join us for that on the 11th of July. And lots of these classes are available afterwards as downloads. Obviously, you're not going to get all the kits and all of those sorts of things, but they are available as downloads as fast as I can get them up onto the website. And also the end of July, we've got a completely crackers great games night. So that's on Zoom. So if you're here in the UK anywhere, you can come and join us on Zoom, and it would be lovely to have you, and we can create 3 simple projects and play some silly games, and it's a nice way to while away a Friday evening. And a quick look at what is happening in Stampin' Up's world during the month of June. One big thing is the bundle sale, and if you choose any current stamp and die bundles from the online exclusives, from any of the catalogues, then you are going to get an extra 10% off of the price of those. So a real bargain, and really worth having a look, flicking through your wish lists and see which of those bundles you want to get while you get that extra. You always get 10% off on when they're bundle priced, but this is an extra 10% off. So well worth looking at that. And then there's two beautiful kits that are currently that have been released this month. One is a stunning sort of watercolory thistle effects birthday card kit, and the other one is more of a memory keeping kit that's sort of great if you're planning on going away on holiday really soon. So do check out those kits as well, along with all the other kits that are available in the online store. So yeah, and wherever you are watching me from, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all of those things, to make sure that you don't miss out on anything that's happening, and that neither do your crafty friends miss out on anything that is happening. It's always lovely to have new people joining our little community. So, without too much further ado, let us flick the camera down and let's have a look today at the Lily Pond Lane suite. Now, it was going to be inevitable that this one was going to be close to my heart because, of course, there's lots of ducks and they are rather beautiful, and it's lovely colour palette with these papers. Things you've got pretty in pink, peach pie, balmy blue, pretty peacock, granny apple green, and grey granite. So the papers are a lovely colour palette. You've got stamps featuring lots of little ducks and some not even 2-step, 3-step stamping. And you've got a lovely set of dies, including this fabulous die here that cuts out an aperture that also has bulrushes and things remaining, growing through the aperture almost. And then some really pretty embellishments that they call adhesive backed dappled dots. They almost look like sort of cracked eggs. They're really pretty, so we'll be having a bit of a closer look at all of those things as we get ready to play with the Lily Pond Lane suite. Now the bundle, and of course this is going to be part of the bundle sale, is the charming Duck Pond bundle. So as I say, you get the stamps and you get sort of this duck facing this way, who's sort of mummy duck, and then you've got this duck facing this way, who is daddy duck. And you not only get the duck outline, you also get these ones here that can give you some infill colour, and you've got a beak and feet, so that is just one whole stamp with the beak at the top and the feet at the bottom. So there's one duck. Here's the other duck with the duck, the infill, and the beak and the feet. Here's a little frog sitting on a lily pad. Here's the little frog infill. You've got a separate little lily pad there. You've got baby duck, and baby duck has got her infill colour and her beak and feet. And then you've got the bulrushes. So this is the sort of leaf foliage part of the bulrushes, and here are the heads of the bulrushes that you could fill in. So obviously you can do that in the 2 different colours. And then some really lovely sentiments. You make me happy, have a lovely day, happy birthday, hello friend. So a really lovely stamp set, and I think not just because it's ducks, it is a really lovely stamp set anyway. And along with that, we have got dies, and we've got dies that will cut out some of our stamped images. We've got dies that will give us bulrushes and lily pads and lily flowers. We've got dies that will give us some sort of detailed die cut ducks rather than just the cut out images. So a lovely selection of dies, and as I say, also this fabulous die that I have put to one side because I was measuring up circles with it. So this cuts out this circle aperture, but you get these bulrushes and you get these lily pads all as part of that die cut. So really lovely die just there. So, and then the papers, as I say, the papers are gorgeous colours. Some of them are featuring little duck families, and some of them are just patterns, got flowers and really pads, fish, fabulous for fussy cutting, great sort of background papers. His little frog on his lily pad, got some stripes there, got these scenes that you can add your ducks into, lots of little fishes there, lovely little pink, and there's the ducks. Just need a big card for that, don't you? You've got that whole lovely scene. What more do you need? There's lots of duck family there. They can either be used as they are or fussy cut those ducks out. And pretty pink paper. This is lovely with all these bulrushes on and a nice grey granite pattern on the back there. Some flowers. There's the duck family again. Got these lovely big lilies and dragonflies. All of the patterns, have we gone through them all? I think we must have pretty well gone through them all. I see the one with the pink check. Have we seen that one? There is one somewhere that's got a big pink check on it. I don't know whether I've picked that one up or not. Yes, there we are. There's the pink sort of gingham effect. So really pretty papers, and you can see by the fact that I've got lots of little off-cut bits floating around that I have been digging into these papers. We had a lovely class using them last week, and I will get the PDF tutorial up for that as soon as I can, so that if you want to come, you want to download that, then you would be able to do so. Right, let's have a look. I think we'll start off with, I come to this, I don't actually think I've used this bulrush effect paper on a card yet. So let's start with that. I think we'll go let's go for a granny apple green card base. Morning, Jackie. Yeah, you and me both. I do love this set, but then I was always going to love this set, wasn't I? It was inevitable. Right, let's just make ourselves a standard card base. So here in metric land, that's 21 centimetres, but I just a smidge, I tend to cut it just a smidge under 14.9, more like 14.85, but you can do it 14.8, 14.9. Whatever works for you. Excuse me, I'm going to slurp of water. They're having a bonfire next door. I don't know if we didn't have this conversation last time I was live, but they were having a bonfire next door. But it's really getting down the back of my throat. And it really is quite antisocial in the middle of the day when people have got their washing out. But hey ho. There we are. So we've got a card base and we're going to pop that lovely bulrush paper. So you've got these sort of bulrushes in peach pie and pretty in pink, and the foliage is a mixture of granny apple green and pretty peacock on the background there. Just wondering if I want to add another mat to that. think I will actually, which means I'm going to cut this down a slither. I'm going to make this 13.9 by 9.5. So if you're using imperial cardstock, your card base obviously is 8.5 by 5.5. Scored at 4.25, and your first size mat is 5.25 by 4, and then your DSP mat would be 5 inches by 3 3/4. But we've got 14.4 by 10 and 13.9 by 9.5. There we are. Yep, I quite like the fact that that's then got a pop of colour in the middle. Now, I want just something, just flicking. I want some sort of a label or something in the centre there. These are the Dappled rectangles. Let's go with those. And before I stick this pretty peacock mat down, I'm going to cut my pretty peacock label from there so as not to waste card. And I'm just rustling through my scraps of white, because I want a piece of basic white that I can cut that from. So we have our pretty peacock. Is that going to fit on the end there? Yes, I think it will. Won't matter that the rest is sticking out the end. Pop that on the top there, and we'll just run this through my machine. Windy, windy. Ooh, sorry, I'm knocking the phone and knocking the camera. Everything's going all over the place. Pop those back there. So, pretty peacock mat with hole in, cover hole up with DSP. Got a Dappled rectangle mat, pretty peacock mat, and some white that we're going to stamp onto. Right, let me find. Going to find my duck. Now, I'm not at this occasion going to colour him in with the stamps, the 2-3 step stamps. I am actually going to use my stamping blends. So the stamping blends, let's grab a Memento ink. And let's stamp him just there. Grab some masking paper. You can feel that one side is shiny and plasticky and the other side is more papery. I want to stamp him onto the papery side. Let's take my paper snips, and let's just cut him out. So I think we've managed to get to sort of midday today without any rain, which is quite an achievement at the moment here. And the sun does come out, it is warm. It just seems to be spending rather a lot of its time hiding behind big rain clouds. But that's just the way it is. I think we're sort of rather stuck between the cold, really extreme heat that they've had in southern Europe and the much colder air above us. So it does create quite a bit of rain. That's what it all needs to. We used to go outside at 7 o'clock and clap for the NHS. Perhaps we all ought to go out and blow, see if we can blow the rain clouds away, move the weather front on. I don't know whether it quite works like that. Right, so now I need to get my backing off of here. It is coming. It was nearly there then. Got you. Let's peel that backing off. I'm going to take, just sticking this duck to my t-shirt a few times just to pick up a few fluffy fibres and make it a little less sticky. And then let's just cover up our duck. Now this is obviously known as, we've used masking paper. This is a masking technique. And what this means now is that we've got our duck and we want our duck sitting in the front of our image, but I thought I would do some bulrushes behind him. What happens if I was to let's go Granny Apple Green. If I was to have stamped the bulrushes first and then stamped the duck on top, obviously the bulrushes would have shown through the duck image. We don't want that to happen. And let's stamp that there. It's going to look a bit untidy just for a minute because obviously we've stamped over the top of our duck, but that's okay because we have our masking paper on. Now where's the little bulrush heads? Here they are. So they come as a little trio on one stamp. Might go pecan pie, I think. Now I don't know whether you can see on this stamped image, but you've got like these little dashes just here, and you've got these gaps between these stalks and the dashes, and that is the points at which we're going to be stamping in our little heads. So we want the little dashes to be sitting at the top of our bulrush head with the stalks at the bottom, something like that. Now this one, I don't know how much of these will actually be seen. I think that one goes like that and that like that. Right, so as I say, that looks really quite odd at the moment because we have this duck, these bulrushes now going over the top of our duck. But if we gently peel away our mask, as if by magic, Our duck is now in front of the bulrushes, which is where we want them. And our little piece of masking paper, I'm just going to stick to the inside of my stamp case, because I can continue to use that up until the point at which it completely disintegrates. Right, colours, let's have a look. I'm going to come in with Granny Apple Green and I think some peach pie, slightly softer for beaks and things than pumpkin pie, different sort of pie. And then we'll have some grey granite, and possibly some smoky slate. Right, let's have a little look at our duck just here. So I'm going to come in. Do I want, or do I want, actually, I think I may come in with Pretty Peacock rather than grey granite. That's the light one. I actually want the dark one. And let's just come in round the outside and where these sort of dashes are, just here. And then we'll come in with the light. And we'll blend that light and dark together. And we don't get harsh lines, we just get the darker bit going into the lighter bit. Let's bring in a dark peach pie. And now a light peach pie. Yes. A little collar, we're going to leave white. Take the dark grey granite and come in round here. Again, where these Ruby has just heard something exciting happening. I think Sam's just walked in. Let's blend that out just there. I'm going to come in again with a little bit of dark grey granite on these tails and feathers. And come in with the smoky slate, dark smoky slate just here. Take light smoky slate. And just sort of come over the top and blend that all out. And we'll come over this wing, blending all of these colours together. There, he looks rather cute, doesn't he? So there we have our little daddy duck, our little mallard. But that's quite. We're going to get a hello friend down there. They might do, actually. A slightly bigger block. And we'll come in with Pretty Peacock. My Pretty Peacock is starting to get to the point that it really could do with re-ink. Right. Really rather sweet, isn't it? And I'll going to bring in some crumb cake twine. And let's stick our little duck on our little mat. And then we'll stick DSP, our Pretty Peacock mat. I'm going to come around with some of this cake twine. Let's wrap that round a few times. It's a little bit sticky on the back there where the glue has peeped through the hole. So I'm just going to lay this down on a silicone mat so that it doesn't stick to the paper. Don't need that, do we? Pull that across a little bit. Touch that underneath. Let's tie a bow there. And then let's say, where's my other end gone? Bring in some dimensionals. That's slightly bigger. I've got lots of dimensionals here with sort of like the edge bits that want using up. It's a bit stuck together. Let's get rid of that. So let's use up our edge bits. Just pulling them off. I'm not doing anything particularly fancy with them. Oh, let's not put him on upside down. That won't do. I think I'll have him on a bit of a jaunty angle. I do like a bit of a jaunty angle. And then let's bring in some more Tombow. Let's put our card the right way round so that we don't have that opening the wrong way. And let's just add in that to the front. I think these are the little embellishments. So they call them dappled dots, but you can see how they're sort of like that almost a cracked effect on the top there, which is really rather nice. A couple of big ones and then a little one on the front there. And the other thing we shall need is an insert for our card. I'm going to cut this again to 9.5 by 13.9, so that's 5 inches by 3 3/4. I think I'll take a bit more of this DSP. I'll just cut a strip. I'll just cut that so that it was 1.5 centimeters, which is round about it's sort of between, so it's about, so I'm just trying to think inches wise, it is about 5/8 of an inch, I think. I'll put that on the side here. And then we'll add this to the inside of our card. So there's a little duck who has been coloured with Stampin' Blend, so he's rather fun. So let's pop him just there. The other card I'm hoping to get completed. A little more of a challenge. Let's just pick up these stamps and just give those a bit of a clean, so we don't lose them. And our sentiment. With everybody. Oh, let's take the sentiment off of there. Another sentiment out here that I was using earlier, so let's just give that a bit of a wipe and pop that away so that we've got it if we need it in a moment. Right, let's have a little look at the other card that we have. We're going to have a bit of a play with. So I have already started to prepare this card. I've taken a whole sheet, whole A4 sheet, and I haven't yet worked out the metric equivalent of these, but I will do that, and I will add it to a blog post at some point in the very near future. So we have got a half a piece of A4 card here, so I've actually trimmed it off a bit, so it actually measures 14.9, so it's cut in half that way, by 20.5, so I've cut off a little half of a centimetre the other way, and then I have scored it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimetres, and then 15.5 centimetres, so that's giving me that 10.5 bit across the back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.5, 15.5, sorry, 5 to 15.5, 16.5, 17.5, 18.5, 19.5, and then the other centimetre makes it 20.5. So I've scored all of that, and you can see that I've then concertinaed it like this. And then my other half of a piece of cardstock I have cut in half again. So I've got one piece that is 14.9 by 10.5, or two pieces that are 14.9 by 10.5, and I simply took one of the pieces, and can you see it is just a smither shorter than the other. I didn't particularly measure that. I just took off a little slither from the top of one of those pieces because I just wanted it to be slightly shorter. So that's all of those pieces. And then I've cut some pieces of DSP. So I've taken this one, which is just like a scene. You've just got the field here, you've got the water, you've got the bulrushes, and I've cut that down to 10 centimetres by 14.4, and I'm going to sit that in the back there. In fact, I might do that now so that I know I haven't lost it. And then I've got a piece of lily pad card here, and I want to stick that to the piece of card that is just slightly shorter. So let's do that now. Obviously, it's going to be a bit more of a border either side than it's going to be on the top. And then I've got a piece of paper that's got like all these little dragonflies on. So I'm going to stick that to my other piece of DSP, like that. Now, sitting here, I have got two dies. So one of them is the circle aperture die with the bulrushes and things on. And the other one is a dappled circle. And this is, I believe it is the 7th largest dappled circle. So if you start at the outside circle and count that as 1, and then come down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's number 7. And it is just slightly smidger bigger than that circle. So I'm going to cut this circle out of this paper, and I'll do that first so that that will give me a bit of a... So I've just turned around to be greeted with the dog, who is standing next to me with her pink dragon in her mouth. So she looks faintly ridiculous but very cute. She's like, who are you talking to? Why can't I see them? Right, so we're going to lay that on the dragonfly paper. I'm going to run it backwards and forwards just because it's going through both DSP and cardstock. Turn that round. That looks as if that has cut through both layers. Let's give that a wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I need to get my scissors in to take off the last little bit. I will do. No, that's brilliant. So there we have this aperture piece cut out. Let me turn this round. And you can see you've got your lily pads in the bottom. You do have a lily pad here that sort of, this bit sort of comes out from in here, so you get the little aperture there. But if you wanted to stick that back in, you could do, particularly if you were laying it flat on another piece of card. It won't be quite so easy with this one because it's not going to be flat. So that's that, and you can see how it also die cuts to give outlines to the lily pads, and you've got sort of like this sense of more grasses and things down the edge here. So a really lovely die, and we'll do some fiddling around with that in a minute. I now want to line this die up underneath. I'm just going to sort of line that up a little bit like that, and then we will line that up so that's fairly central on there. We just grab a little bit of low tack tape and hold that in place. Right, I'm going to run this through again. I'll run it through a couple of times just because it's going through card and paper. And we've got this piece here that is rather fun that we have to use on another project. I have here got a piece with a hole in. Now what I want to do to start to build this up, might actually take some tear and tape. So I'm going to put some tear and tape. So we've got the fold coming here, this first mounting. So on the other side of this mounting, I'm going to run some tear and tape down there. Thank you, Carol. I've just spotted your comment. I'm having to look at two screens to see where comments are coming from. Thank you. Let's put some tape on there. Same on this side. We've got this one flat side of the mountain, but the other side of the mountain, we're going to put some tear and tape. Oh, I don't know what Ruby is getting agitated about now. You can possibly hear the neighbours out in the garden or somebody out the front. She feels we need protecting from. Right, so I'm going to take this and lining it up so it is just slightly short at the top. And slightly short at the bottom, and resting in that fold just there. And the same on this side. Let's fold this down, bring it across. It's resting up against that four line just there, and then that will rest out. Now we have got a little bit of a sticky out bit just here. Let me just take my paper snips and just cut that round. I'm going to put some bulrushes on here in a minute, so if it ends up being a little bit rough around the edges, I can cover that up, but that's okay. So that's just taken the bulk of that out. So there's one layer. Let's say I'll put some bulrushes and things on there in a minute, and then we've got the layer, and this will eventually come and sit on the top here, and then we'll have like a little scene going down through there. But before I put this on, I do want to come in and that's the dark Granny Apple Green. I'm going to come in and let's colour in our lily pad here and our lily pad here. Just wondering, that is going to stick out a little bit there, so I'm going to take our other little lily pad that came out of the middle and I will colour that in. I'll perhaps stick that back in place just on the little bit of circle that's going to be peeping out just there. And then let's come in. I'm going to take light Pretty Peacock, I think, and do these bulrush stems. Now there is a little bit of dragonfly on this paper, but once it's coloured, it's not really going to show up very much, not going to detract very much from the image. Let's take the dark grey granite, and this time we'll have a dark grey granite bulrush. And just here. And here. And here. Okay. They're going to sit in the front there. And somewhere here, got some grey granite twine. Not very much left on this reel. I have got some more, but we don't want to waste any, so let's use this bit up first. I'm just going to, these of course are all out of both the crumb cake and the grey granite twine are taken from the Essentials collection. So you get some white, you get black, you get grey granite, you get berry vanilla. I couldn't think what the other colour was. So white, black, crumb cake, grey granite, berry vanilla, twine all in a pack. And sometimes if you want something just a little bit thicker than the linen thread, then the crumb cake twine is really good for that. I'm going to take the rest of this twine and just do a bit of a bow. Just a dinky little bow with the rest of that twine. I'm going to add that on there with a glue dot. Oh, we will if we can find our glue dots. Where are you? To pop that on that little glue dot and then scrunch it up. Add it to there. I'm going to stick one side down, but I'm not going to stick the other side down yet. I'm going to stick one side down so we can get a sense of what it looks like. But I won't stick the other side down yet so that we can open it up and add some other bits in. So let's take that backing off. Let's line this up. So this one wants to be lined up with the top and then lined up with the bottom. Perfect. I think actually we're not going to worry too much. I think that little circle in there not going to be too bad. Right, let's see what we want to add to our scene now that we've got that far. So I'm going to take this die, which is cuts us some bulrushes, and I'm going to take these dies, which cut us some ducks. We have some baby ducks as well. I think so. I think I might also do some lily pads. Right, let me find my scraps of card. Some lily pads. I'm going to cut the bulrushes, I think, in white and then colour in as we see fit. Let's go. Let's take a little bit of Pretty Peacock and we'll cut the wing from Pretty Peacock, and then I'm going to cut some ducks from Pretty Peacock. And I need my other pack of scraps because I want some grey granite. Actually, I have a little bit of grey granite just here. Is that going to be big enough? Yes, it is. I need a little bit of white as well. So, duck. Lily pads. Lovely, Jackie. Yeah, absolutely. Come back and watch at any time. So measurement, and Jack and Carol, you'd like measurements for this one that I'm doing right now. So what I am going to do is I am going to do a blog post with this. So once I've written all that up, I will send you the link for the blog post, and then you'll have all of those measurements. I'm pleased you're liking them. Pleased I'm not alone in loving the ducks. Right, so we've got ducks, we've got big duck, we've got lily pad, we've got wings and baby ducks. We'll just need to do another baby duck in a minute. There's one little baby duck and a wing and a beak. Let's not lose that. Let me just see if I've got, yes, I've got a little box just here. Let's put these bits in here so we don't lose that little beak. And also here we've got the bits of duck. I want that to die. I'm going to get that out of there as well. Should do. Let's just pop out our duck. Main bit of our duck. And we'll just use that bit of tape on there. Let's take our lily pads. One pair is stuck together like this, and the other one is free flowing, and then the bulrushes pop out into two separate pieces. And actually, while I'm running the other duck through, I might run another set of bulrushes through because we might want more than two. We'll see how we go. Right, let's do that. Add our baby duck bits in there and our bulrush bits in there. We can pop that out the way. I think I can safely recycle that piece of card. Right, let's have a little look at what we've got here and where we want to put them. In there for now. Right, let's bring in some of these bulrushes. And let's take the light Pretty Peacock again and just colour in this bit. And we'll do another one in Pretty Peacock, and then I'm going to do two in Granny Apple Green just to mix up the shades a little bit. Pretty Peacock stamping blends are starting to run out a little bit. Those are going to be my next things to really concentrate on. Refreshing is my stamping blends. They do get used a lot. And they are, of course, consumables. We never expect them to last forever. It would be nice if they did, but that's not realistically going to happen. So that's Pretty Peacock and the I'm just looking. Oh, dark grey granite straight in front of me. Thinking, where's the dark grey granite gone? And there it is. Straight in front of me. Can't see it for looking. Another one that's in need of a refresh, but hopefully good enough to get us through what we need it to do now. what we could do actually, just for a slight change of tone, is come in with Light Pebbled Path. Just so that we've got different bits going on, slightly different colours going on. There we go. So let's mix those up. So we've got a dark and a light there, and a dark and a light there. Okay, so I'm going to, I think, have these coming up the side here a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in my glue that has been decanted into my little squidgy bottle, and let's just pair those up a bit before we then stick them on. And we'll go the opposite way with the other ones. Yeah, I think that wants to come about there, I think, somewhere. I'm just going to add some glue to the base of this and pop it on there. It wants to stick to my finger rather than the... So then we've got some bulrushes in the back there. Same with this one. About there. Fingers are obviously a little bit sticky. So then we've got the bulrushes looking as if they're in there as well. And then we have our little, we've got some lily pads. We'll decide where they're going to go in a minute. I think I might just have some just on the edge of that circle. So we can see them through there. I'm going to take a mini dimensional, pop it on there. And let's have that. Sitting on the top. So we've got those lily pads then sitting in that background. And then we need our ducks. Where are you, ducks? So here we have our base piece of our duck. And he is a wing. Stick that on. Line it up with that edge of that duck just there. And the other thing I'm going to want to do is just take a little bit of glue on there and find a little beak. Oh, no, that's not the little beak. That's a little wing. I did think to myself that that looked a very odd shape. Odd. There's our little beak. That's much better, isn't it? There's our little mummy duck. She can come in down here. And then the baby ducks. So you get sort of this bit and this bit. Let's pop these out. And then you also have like these little wing bits, so we can Put these over here like this. We could go with one of each, like mix and match ducklings. Alternatively, you could use just the little wing pieces. Might do that actually. That one's already got the glue on because that's the one I thought was a there's a beak. Slide that into place. What I am going to do is I'm going to dig about and find my basic black marker. I'm going to just give that one a little spot of an eye, and that one a little spot of an eye. Just bring in each pie and just sort of orangify his beak just a little bit. Right, I'm going to take some glue and stick Mummy Duck down so she's just peeking out from behind those lily pads. And then let's take the marker and give her an eye. And let's put a bit of dimensional on the back of Baby Duck. And a little dimensional on the back of that other Baby Duck. There's our little ducks in the background there. So let's now add in a bit more tear and tape, which is just here. So at the moment, of course, we can see where we've taped down our twine just there, but in a minute we're going to close this up. So you'd have to be quite really on your lookout for it to find it once it's all stuck together. Let's take that off. Let's line that up like that. There we have our little scene with our little duck, little family of ducks in the middle there. Pop that little one to one side. Let's have a look at our sentiments. I think I'm going to take both "Have a Lovely Day" and "Happy Birthday." Pop that on a little block. Bring in one of my many strips of white card. that just sit in a pot on my desk. And let's ink up that happy birthday. And then I don't think Have a Lovely Day is going to fit on there. Hopefully somewhere around we've got some more oddments of white. Yes, here we go. Right, let's go back. Our oddments file. Find some grey granites. I have a lot of oddments of grey granite. Take my big scissors just because I find it more useful. Give myself quite a bit of a margin to start with till I've decided what I'm going to do. I think we'll trim it like that. So let's stick that to the grey granite. Not quite going to go that way. Take that off a bit further. Right, so I think we'll have a happy birthday coming at the top of our card. Some dimensionals. Top or bottom. I think I'm going to go the top because it sort of balances out the bow on this bottom. And then Have a Lovely Day. That's not bad. Let's stick that to a bit of grey granite. I'm going to put some dimensionals on there. Mini ones to hand, so mini ones will do. And we'll have that as Have a Lovely Day in the back there. And I think I'll take some of these and just scatter a few of those as well. So the one thing we will need is panel to go on the back. So I'm going to make this 9.5 by 39. And then that can sit on the back here. Add in granny apple green, and we'll go grey granite this time, because that's what we've coloured in the rushes on the front in. And again, line up our little dashes and the base of our stems. You can pop that on the back. And there's somewhere to write your greeting. And of course, the nice thing about a diorama card like this is you're going to be able to squash it into an envelope. Just like that. So there we go. A little bit of a play with the ducks. So one using really nice bold paper and colouring that duck in with your Stampin' Blends, and then this little diorama card using a variety of those. So you've got a little flash of lily pads in there, one of those background papers that are so lovely in this paper pack, and this gorgeous die that cuts out this aperture is just so lovely. You obviously don't have to go to extremes of a diorama card. You could just have that aperture resting on dimensionals on one of those papers on a card front, but it's good fun to do a bit of building up and creating a duck front diorama card. So I hope you have enjoyed both of those projects. Certainly hasn't been a short video, so apologies for that, but you know, fast forward me as much as you need to. That's absolutely fine. I totally understand. And as I say, I'll get a blog post up quite soon with all of those measurements and things in. And yeah, make sure that you are able to access that and find all of those instructions and things to have a go at making some of these cards yourself. But in the meanwhile, have a lovely week, and I will be back with you next week, hopefully, if not before. But yeah, so have a really good week. Happy crafting, everybody, and I'll see you all soon.